everybody and their neighbor. Welcome back to Gear and Gigs. I'm your host, Jet Stone. So glad you could stop by today. With me, I have my compatriot in crime, the man of the hour, the man about town, Reg. Reg, how you doing?
I'm all about town, Jet, but I stopped in to see you.
Well, it used to be all about the hokey pokey, so we've made some progress.
We have, yes.
And that's good to hear. We're going to do a little different kind of show today. Now, you know, you guys have all clicked on the thumbnail, so you know what it is, and I know what it is, but he has no idea.
I never do. That's the thing.
That's the fun
I never
part.
do. I'm always the chump in these shows, but that's okay. I'm willing to play the chump because it's always fun.
Somebody's got to be the straight man, as
Right.
it were.
Yes.
That's you. So today, what we're going to do is, there's going to be two pedals. We're going to listen to two pedals. They work well together, so it's I'm not necessarily saying it's a combination recommendation, but they do sound very good together. So it's a partial combination recommendation, but mostly I'd like to review the pedals. They're two pedals that have never been on the show. Now, two different manufacturers. Now, the thing is, you know how some manufacturers tend to stick to the same shape for their pedals, you know, over the years or whatever. So as soon as you see it, you go, oh, well, that's a, for instance, pedal or a something pedal. Just, you can tell from away, you know, oh, that's one of them, right? So I don't want any preconceptions to get into your head as far as what the sound is, as far as it boutique, is it mass market, is it, you know, what level is it? I want you to just come in cold, listen to the sounds for what they are, and then we can talk about where they come from. What do you think?
Okay. All right. And I don't have to guess them, right? I don't have to guess what it is.
No, you don't have to guess them.
Okay. Well, then
it's
I'm
just
all
an
in.
opinion.
I'm all in then.
All right, great. So today we're going to be using just an old Strat. It's actually not nearly as old as it looks, of course. It's just a custom shop relic. Pretty beat to heck. I've used it before. I call it Goldie for obvious reasons. We're going to be going through the two pedals, which are over here on the magic table that you can't see. Can you see? You can see a corner right here
barely,
of
yeah.
the magic table. So he likes the magic table. Got to make sure it's at least within arm's reach. So if you see me doing this, I'm adjusting something on the pedals. Going straight into our Boogie TC50 Triple Crown, mic'd up with a tube mic. Going straight into our digital recorder and the computer, so you guys are hearing it like we are. I've got in-ear monitors here. He's listening through headphones. Hopefully you guys are listening through headphones too. All right. I've got 3 channels on the amp. I'm going to stick to the clean for the most part, but if we want to hear what the pedals do in a driver situation, we have that available as well. And the reverb will be coming from the amp. It's a spring reverb. So
Okay. Fair enough.
Clean tone first, right? Let's listen to the amp puts out a little bit of hum. I'm so sorry. That's just the way these amps are. So my apologies. But that little bit of hum will be with us while we test. Okay, so here's just the guitar. I'll just run through some pickup combinations here real quick. Okay, pretty
Very
normal.
stratty.
All right, I do have a mic above me. If you hear a click, that's me turning off this mic right here, because I want you to just hear that mic on there. All right, so first pedal that I want to listen to is it's a modulation pedal.
Okay.
Just for fun, I want to play it, and you tell me what you think, what it is, what modulation, what kind of circuit it is. Okay?
Very phasery.
All right, so let me adjust some settings on it so you can kind of hear what the other kinds of things it can do, because this is a pretty mild-mannered setting.
Okay, now it's sounding more tremolo-y. Oh, a tremolo-y with a filtery kind of thing. like a harmonic trem almost, kind of wet and slurpy, but definitely, or vibrato, because I always mix up vibrato and tremolo. But it sounds like a volume swell, not a pitch mod. Well, that sounds like a pitch mod. It's very interesting. I mean, like at first I thought it sounded very phasery, and then it was more like a tremolo, and of course, like I said, tremolo, vibrato. Vibrato starts with V, so it's not the volume. Vibrato is a pitch mod, and tremolo is a volume mod. So it kind of has, but then it sort of sounded like both of those at different times. I can't tell if that's like actually a pitch modulation or if it's a filter stepping, like some sort of, like it has some kind of step sequencer on it. Very difficult. Sounds very phasery, but real mild.
It does have a lot of different feelings that come through. And when I first heard it, of course, I knew what it was. I'm like, well, I know that's what it is. But man, if I didn't know, there's a lot of times I would think that it wasn't. It's an optical vibe.
Okay, so it is a vibe then. All right,
so it's like a like a deja vibe kind of thing, or that,
it's
or
a pitch
the old
mod. And although it's weird because there was before it sounded like it was pitch modulation, it sounded like it was volume, like it was just volume going up and down. Right?
There's so much flexibility in the circuit that you can have a lot of fun with. It's got a throb. Which when we add in the distortion or drive, we can have some fun, especially on the lower pickups, the neck pickup. Sorry, the lower pickup. I think it was that way. You'll get some of the throb function. So there's a throb functionality. There's a rate. There's a depth. There's a volume, of course, and then there's a voice that can change it from kind of a classic thing to a more modern, more intense situation.
I wonder if the voice thing is some kind of filter on it or something, because it really, like that one extreme setting, it was so drippy. It almost sounded like some, like a bandpass filter that was just so resonant.
And vibes often do. I mean, they're essentially phasers, I think. They're multiple phasing circuits.
Yeah, Univibe was sort of a phaser. Right.
It's like a 4-stage phaser, essentially. So this is,
in a way,
got something like that going on. But it's such an inspiring effect because whatever it does, it twists your sound in a way that makes you play different or think different and immediately want to do something with it. So I like the circuit.
My favorite type of effects, because they can not only inspire you, but entertain you for hours.
Entertaining. It's very entertaining. So what did you think of the sound quality, the noise, the level of...
Some of them I thought were very dreamy and beautiful. Some of them were a little annoying, but...
that might have been the plan.
Again, it's like... I like a pedal that'll take me past where I really want to go, right. And that way I know that it'll take me where I want to go, right? Every bit of where I want to go.
That makes sense, sure.
Without going, sometimes. But if you have that ability to just take it to the ridiculous, well, to me that's the extra bonus, right? Because you can always, like if you're doing a noise project or something like that, use those things. Not as instruments, but just as effects themselves.
Right.
Yeah,
but the first sound that it started with was not at all extreme, nice and pleasant.
Sound. Yeah, very nice. Because it was, again, real slow. And, I love a slow phaser. Yeah. I love me a slow phaser.
So you like it, though?
I do, yes. I do like it.
Okay.
I would like to hear it with dirt, though, before you move on to any other pedal.
Okay.
Just find a nice setting that you like. where you can get the throb going, and then maybe just give a little,
Okay.
a little hurt to it.
Okay, I'll go distortion from the amp then,
Perfect.
in this case. All right? I'll turn off the pedal first so we can just make sure we hear the dry distortion, and then I'll add it in.
There you go, that's good. How fast? I like it.
It's got a certain character, doesn't it?
It does. It's like if I still didn't know exactly what it was, I still wouldn't know exactly what it I'm saying it's like I kind of get
Well
the vibe.
said, well said.
I kind of get the vibe thing, but when you get it going really fast, that's as fast as it went, right? That was maxed out for speed.
Oh no, it'll go faster.
Oh yeah, let's see how fast it'll go all the way.
All right. I just want to keep playing. It's a cool sound.
It's that's pretty crazy.
I want to throw some delay on it and start messing with it. It's like, oh, I could do something with that.
Oh yeah, modulation delay on top of that.
It does have boost available, so at like 1 o'clock, it's unity gain, and then on the level, and then you can actually get a little boost. Oh yeah, I can play that.
Yeah.
I can play that for a while and have some fun.
Now, do you have room in the studio to keep that one?
It's not that big, so yeah, it's actually
Okay.
not.
All right. Well,
that
then,
big.
yeah, I say keep it.
It's got a little like a
It's
real
different.
voice to it. Wow, wow, wow. You
Yeah,
can almost
it
hear
does.
it like talking to you through it. It's almost
Yeah. I mean, there was one time in
Like
the
a wah-wah.
it almost sounded like it was on some short little sequence that it was playing. Right? It was like, well, okay, on long sustained notes, it was just that almost like it was, a sequence.
so sight unseen. You're willing to give it the seal of approval. Can we bring out Flippy for this?
You can bring Flippy out. Yeah. I
All right,
believe-
well, I've got to see the thumbs. There he is. All right, now he can come out. Flippy, so glad to see you, buddy. Woohoo! All right, I'm gonna turn off that just first ever sight unseen seal of approval. Never happened before.
Right, it
We've
has
had
never happened.
not heard seal of approval before, but this is the first time. Sight unseen, seal of
Right.
approval. That's big. That's very cool.
Right,
Cool
any
effect. We like it. All right. So this is a distortion drive, a drive circuit. There's a switch that gives you 3 different levels: meat, grind, and drive, I think, or dirt, something like that. Meat's in there. I know meat's in there. So there's 3 different levels. There's a bass, a treble, a drive, and a level. The circuit is ostensibly designed to sound like SRV's tone. Hence the beat up strat that I'm playing, right? So that's what it's designed to do, which his sound is an amalgamation of drive pedals, certain pickups, amplifiers. Obviously, he almost always used a combination of amps. A lot of times they were tweaked by people or custom in one kind or another. His speakers, the mics, the chain. As you know, we talk about the whole chain all the time here at Gear Gigs because it's not just the guitar tone that matters. It's, keeping track of it all the way through. Yeah,
everything in it. Yep.
Right. But this is designed to give you that thing into an amp, into a clean amp, and make it sound like that. So I'm not going to tell you what my opinion of it is because I want your opinion. Right.
Although I admire him, I'm not a huge SRV fan. Never was, and I'm a Texan, so
right.
I have a bunch of respect for him, especially for
You live not very far away from where he grew up, actually.
No, indeed.
Yeah, yeah. I admire. I'm an SRV fan. I really like him. I wish he'd got to put out more stuff. His work had an energy about it that I've rarely seen. And his tone was very, very cool, very unique, and it cut through, and it was very powerful. It was big. That's one of the things about it.
Oh, yeah, I'm very familiar with his sound. Yeah. I just never really gave much thought to how he got it.
Right. Sure.
You just kind of associate. You hear something. It's like you hear Jeff Beck play, and you don't go, I wonder who that is, right? I mean,
that's true. Well,
it's that.
Yeah, I don't play like him, so we're not going to hear that today. But at least maybe we can see if this approaches that tone. Because to me, SRV's tone had a throatiness, but a sense of glassiness at the top. There was a certain sparkle and a sheen to it. Not Charlie, just to be clear. A sheen to it, though, that had it was an unpolished sheen. It was raw, but it was brilliant.
More of a
Martin sheen.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. No, I see where you're
more
going.
Mature. Yeah, it was more
right.
mature.
It's not a Charlie at all. It's much more of a
maybe it was more of an Estevez. It might have been an Estevez. I'm not sure really if we want to go down that particular path, but
hard to really judge.
This is the first time that's ever been talked about in terms of describing SRV tone. But
probably. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to run the amp on clean. I'll leave the reverb on. The vibe pedal is off for now. The mystery vibe pedal is off for now. And I'll play a little dry, just a little bit, and then I'll switch on the pedal. And it's just set wherever I left it last when I was messing around and setting up tones. So hopefully it'll be a good place to start. And we'll see where it goes. All right, here we go with the pedal.
Okay, well, as a drive pedal, I mean, I can't say, oh my God, was that you playing, or did SRV somehow come back and,
that might have a lot to do with the playing.
I wouldn't make that mistake, but I mean, as a drive pedal,
from a feel standpoint, it feels great. It really feels great. It's like the strings come alive under your fingers and just, I don't know, it brings an energy to it that I've never felt from a single pedal. It feels like the combination of like 3 or 4 pedals to get this. I would usually get a preamp and maybe an EQ or something that had EQ and it was like that. And then, maybe an EQ. It almost has that kind of a thing, and then the drive, and then maybe a boost or something in there too. It's got a complex, toothy thing under your fingers that feels real. Very unique, very different. I've never felt anything quite like it. It's, it may not sound tremendously different, but from a feel standpoint, it really does. And what a big difference, to go from that. I mean, it sounds very similar to the drive channel we had from the amp itself, which is not a bad recommendation. Let me play a little bit more and see what you think, as a listener, because of course Reg is not, he plays guitar, but he's not a guitar player.
That's right.
I mean, he's a bass player, but I'm not a guitar player. So, and he's a professional percussionist as well. Yeah, bongos, I think it was on the Tonecast.
Bongos, and lately it's more drum machine, but bongos.
Yeah. All right, so a little bit more with this. So that's where that's switch position 1. Let me go to the next position.
Oh, this would be meat then, right?
I think so. So there's the 3 different positions. 1 and 2 sound very similar. 3, the one we started in, is obviously the grindiest and got the most gain on tap.
Yes.
But let me twist some knobs now. I'll go to the lowest position and twist some knobs and see how much range that actually has.
Okay. Tasty little sizzle right there. So that lower setting is kind of like a clean boost.
It's almost like a clean boost
feeling. And then when it was at its more extreme, it sizzled. It had a really nice little sizzle to it.
So let me go to the highest setting and do the same kind of adjustments.
Okay.
And the bass and treble were the things you heard where it got really very bright or very muted. The bass doesn't seem quite as effective, at least not on this guitar and this amp combo, as the treble does, which seems to have a real big effect.
Mm-hmm. I like the effect very much. My takeaway from it feels a bit scooped, right?
Maybe the way the EQ is set on this one.
Yeah, and I was just thinking while you were playing, it's like, well, wouldn't it be nice if they had like if it was all 3 different bands of EQ and they were cut and boost all the way, with a dent in the middle, so you could kind of, because that sound would have sounded really good if you just like, I don't know at what level, but maybe like 800 hertz up just a little tiny bit.
Well, actually, there, excuse me, there are dip switches inside where you can tailor the middle.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I won't take that apart and do it right now, but
No,
but yeah,
no,
but yeah,
like
you can
that.
get to there and flip disc switches and change the mid reaction for your guitar or amp setup. So that's probably what needs to be done. But it's not loud. I mean, it's not
Yeah, I
particularly
mean,
loud
it's,
for the amount of gain that's coming out of that thing. That's
dirt
not
boxes
loud.
have they're inherently they got a little something because they're giving you a little something. So
Yeah, yeah. But I like the tones. This is a hard guitar to make sound really rock and good. It just doesn't want to do that. It's got a lot of rattle and cleanness to it. It's very bluesy, but it's not that way so much. So I think it handles that really, really well, that amount of character coming out of the guitar and faithfully puts it into the amp. It still felt like this guitar, but it was like giving it the zing and the spice and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
More than
No,
just coloring it and creating a new thing.
I think it's a good sounding dirt box, and that's the thing. It's like, oh my god, there's so many of them.
So many of them,
and virtually all of them are based on what 4 or 5 original whatevers, right?
Right.
That kind of come down through the ages, and everybody kind of does their take on one of those circuits,
right?
And every once in a while, you'll get something that's totally unique, and of course, then it falls by the wayside because everybody wants the best version of this or the best version of that, like. Like I guess the most classic example is the Tube Screamer, right?
Right.
Like how many versions of the Tube Screamer have there been over the years and are available right now?
Right. Of which this arguably could be, that was often a part of his sound too. So that is in there somewhere. Yeah. I like it. I think it sounds great. I really, it's different than a lot of other overdrives. It's got a clarity and that glassiness that I was talking about that's hard to get. A presence that's hard to get out of pedals without sounding tinny or overwhelmingly trebly. So, but the people that have tuned in are really dying for me to show you the pedal.
I'm sure they are. I'm kind of
because we haven't even talked about the brands or anything, and they're brands one of which is one of your very favorite brands in the world. So the Vibe pedal is actually an Earthquaker The Depths.
The Depths.
An Earthquaker The Depths. Earthquaker, you love them so much, I didn't want to tell you up front, hey, it's an Earthquaker pedal, because then...
right, then it get stuck, and I'd go, I like it.
Well, you might have cut it some slack, and I would rather you treated this particular one with all of the objectivity.
It's not one that I've ever owned.
Oh, cool. Well, nice. That's nice that you didn't have the experience with it. I was afraid of that, so that's kind of cool. You may go, oh, that's just the depth, and I'd be like, oh, damn.
No, I've never owned that. I do have the what do they call it? The Nightwire, which is a harmonic tremolo, which is kind of
done a show on
other
that,
version.
yeah.
And my God, do I love that!
Yeah. And there's a link right above here, if I can remember to put it in, on a show that we did where Reg told us all about that.
Yeah, we did that Nightwire.
Yeah, so I'll make sure and put that up. Up here, I can't remember which corner it goes to. The other pedal, the drive pedal, is called the SRV. I don't know where they came up with the name.
What? I mean, like how create.
I know. And it was put out by a company called VVco. And
VVco. Now, I'm familiar with VVco, aren't I? Because isn't VVco the one that does the die-cast?
Well, it's funny you should say that.
I knew it.
Because let me just see if I can get this over here without destroying the two cars that we have here today. As you see, they both have headlights. And when you turn them on, they do light up inside, and it may be hard for Reg to see, but I will make sure that he sees them later. This is the Bandit from Smokey and the Bandit. That's our drive pedal.
Okay.
And the Earthquaker pedal they put in for me into the A-Team van.
No way.
Yeah.
So they took an Earthquaker circuit and put it inside the A-Team van?
Into the A-Team van.
Oh my God. Because I already like what they're doing. I already like their circuits. Every single one of them that I've ever heard.
But I wanted you to judge them.
Because
you always just give them the thumbs up as soon as you see that they're in the cool die-cast cars, which these are two of the best ones we've seen yet. But I wanted you to be a fair judge of the tone.
Mystery Machine is up there for me.
Yeah, so this...
I'm surprised and yet not
surprised. So I'm going to bring them close to Reg here just so he can see what they look like, because it's not fair that you guys.
Here,
are
let me
looking
get
at
let me
it.
get it. Let me get up
Yeah,
there.
you lean close here. Let's see there. So here's the Bandit.
Does it have a little posable Sally Field?
It does not,
That'd
unfortunately.
be cool.
Yeah, it would be nice. The jacks are in the doors. The switches and stuff is on the top. The gas cap is the place you plug it in. And as I said, it's got the headlights and it lights up red inside when you turn it on. And then the other one here, I'm going to run that over to him here real quick. This is the AT.
Oh my God.
And right,
Oh my
with
God.
the jacks on the back, and then the power once again on the gas cap, and the even to the skylight.
Let me just say, it does not get any better. And I'm going to go off on a limb here because really, like, as far as our future, the world's future, it can go a lot of different ways. They're not all good. But I'm going to focus on one that I see that's pretty good, where in the future, all effects pedal companies build their pedals in die-cast vehicles.
Right.
And they don't have to be from movies or TV shows or cartoons. They could just be cool cars or cool vehicles. Somebody could have like the entire military thing and have different tanks from World War II through...
Right? Dioramas that are your pedal board. Right.
Exactly. And in some cases where like the guy who's down on one knee with the rifle up, that plastic army man, he's actually a secret dial.
Oh,
that,
nice.
does something to the whole,
Yeah.
That's the future I see. It's that or Armageddon, but
Right, it's one of the two. It's
I'm
clearly
gonna
going to
go
go to one of the two. The SRV pedals that get our thumbs up seal of approval as well.
yes, that gets a thumbs up as well. Yes,
Yeah, want to bring Flippy back for an encore performance.
especially knowing that something can be done with those mids, because it did seem a little hollow in the middle, which otherwise the tone, the sound, the little bit of fur, it was
There's a lot of adjustment. I was just looking. There's a lot of adjustment on the amp too, so we could have done a lot of different things there. And that guitar on the neck pickup can get that way.
yeah, it's all right.
bit.
It's like it still gets this,
Yeah.
and I think we're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially now.
Now
it
that
doesn't
it's
even
a
now, it
Smokey
doesn't
and the
even
Bandit,
matter.
yeah.
Like, just throw the effects in the garbage. We got these cars.
No.
We're gonna just
This
go
is
with that.
why I wanted to do the effects without you knowing what they look like.
It makes perfect sense to me now. And here's the thing. Once again, you totally tricked me. I didn't suspect for a minute.
Awesome.
You had me with the, new format.
Right.
We're just going
Right.
to listen to them and not know what they are. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys, it was worth the wait. To those of you that stuck it out that long, those of you who skipped ahead, well, you cheated a little bit, but I understand. Maybe you go back and watch how we got here. And, thanks as always for coming and joining us for another Gear and Gigs episode. We have a lot of fun doing it. Hopefully you guys have a lot of fun hanging out with us. If you want to see something special, put a comment down below. Make sure you subscribe, like, hit the bell, do all the things that you're supposed to do as a YouTube person, a consumer. And we'll keep doing what we do on our end. And hopefully you'll like it and tell somebody. Until next time, for Reg, I'm Jet. You guys take care.